Welcome back to another episode of the West 17 Sports TV Chit Chat. This is a series that we've been doing where we sit down with members of the student body, kind of just asking what's going on, how their quarantine's been, and what they're up to. In this case, we got a Tower Hill alumni with us.
Today we have a very special guest with us, Harry Saridakis, rising freshman at Colgate. How are you doing, Harry?
I'm just living life. I'm doing pretty well.
Sir,
Yeah, waiting to move into college.
It's crazy. Seems like just yesterday I was a freshman, you were a sophomore.
Oh, it's a wrap.
All right, Harry. So I got to ask you, diving right in to the meat of the podcast. So you're the head of the environmental board, or the former head of the environmental board, and you're also the head of the Young Republicans Club. So I was just wondering, how do you coincide with these two beliefs? And do you think that you need to kind of fully buy into either the Republican side, or do you think that being an environmentalist is a political party issue? And is it just like a personal belief?
So it's more like a personal belief. I don't really think enjoying being an environmentalist is more like a political view. It should be like everybody should like it because we only have one planet, so you can't just destroy it. And the reason I'm such a big environmentalist, I guess, is because I always go outside, and I'm really big into mountain biking and whitewater canoeing and stuff. So I hike a lot, I mountain bike a lot. I don't canoe very often because there's not great water here to canoe on, but I am mountain biking quite frequently. So I really enjoy nature and I like spending time there. So, it's fairly easy to balance my beliefs because that's something that shouldn't really be I'm a Republican, so I can't believe in the environment. But I'm more of a libertarian than a Republican. I'm more of a hands-off, let me do my own thing. Then when the government gets involved, there's several things that Trump has done that I've sort of been okay, that's sort of an overreach of the government. For example, when he wanted Microsoft to buy TikTok, he wanted a percentage to go to the government of the sales, which is I think is kind of an overreach of the government. Let Microsoft take all the money, because after all, or spend the money after all, and give it to TikTok. I mean, government really shouldn't be getting that money. So it's not really very hard to, be an environmentalist and a Republican. Although people ask me oh, how do you do that? It's not that hard. I just believe what I believe, and it happens to me more as a Republican.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of kind of issues that are going on have become topic of political parties, and honestly, most of them are just issues that you should believe in, especially in the case of environmental. It's just something that you feel, and you feel is an issue that we need to solve, and it shouldn't really be a topic for only Republicans can't be helping the environment, and only Democrats are allowed to. So I completely agree with your view. So I just want to ask you, what made you? I'm not sure if you founded it, but I know that you have been very involved with, and I think you are the president of the Republicans Club. So what kind of made you do that?
So when I was a freshman, the Young Republicans Club was a thing, but there's 8 members in it. And then when I was a sophomore and Dean was a junior, Dean revamped it all, and sort of did a big facelift structurally and I guess ideologically. And he sort of made it prevalent at Tower Hill again. So I was I guess a founding member of the new Young Republicans 2.0.
Right.
I was the vice president of the club, and what made me want to do it was I read a lot about politics, and I got really into it, especially during the election, because that was the age I started to realize things and learn and really pay attention to the news and what was happening, and started to formulate my opinions. So the election year was pretty big on me becoming a Republican, just because I was seeing what was happening and I was just taking it all in. So I guess the election made me want to be, I guess, the president of the Young Republicans Club, because I would always read about it, and I kind of have a lot to say.
Yeah, that's great that you founded the club. And there's also the Young Democrats Club, and just getting the young minds into the politics and just making them know what's actually happening in the world today is pretty important, I feel. So moving on from that, you are attending the prestigious Colgate University next year. So I was just wondering, why did you choose Colgate? What about it kind of appealed to you?
The one thing I liked about Colgate was it's small, like Tower Hill. At Tower Hill, I would always be like meeting with teachers and asking them questions, or just like chatting with teachers, even when I didn't have any homework to do,
Hmm.
because it was really easy to ask for recommendations for college because I had those the opportunity to get like close to my teachers and build a relationship. So that's what I wanted to do at Colgate because it's A, it's easy to like form a relationship, and B, when you have that relationship and it's small, it's easy to like get extra help and the teachers like notice you more. So I'm not in like these 200 person like lectures where the TA doesn't even know who I am, not even like the real professor. So I kind of wanted something small, and Colgate's campus is beautiful, and there's a lot of mountain biking trails around there, which I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, overall, that's like the main reason I wanted it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I have a question for you, Harry. So I just kind of mesh your questions a little. How do you plan on still continuing your let's say political advocacy or openness? Your voice, speaking a lot about environment and stuff at Colgate too.
Probably the main thing I want to continue is Young Republicans and maybe Model UN, but I have to figure that one out. Whether I want to devote so much time to it because it's like really like it's like a class, to be honest. That's how much work goes into it. But yeah, I kind of want to continue doing like the College Republicans Club because that's when you can go and like go to different conventions. Like last year, Dean went to CPAC in DC and got to see Trump speak and a bunch of other prominent Republicans
Wow.
with the Wake Forest Republicans Club. So it's pretty cool because it's a good way to get into politics. And I don't know if I want to go to law school yet, but that's something I want to continue just in case.
That's another topic. Do you know what you're majoring in yet, Harry?
Yeah, so I haven't declared it yet. I declare when I'm a sophomore, but I want to double major in economics and Asian studies.
Asian studies.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, because like I don't want to be that econ student that has nothing to them. Like,
Yeah.
and it's pretty easy to double major in economics at Colgate. So Asian studies, I'm really interested in like the China trade war and how it's affected Southeast Asia, specifically like Vietnam and Taiwan, and how their GDPs have like grown astronomically, like astronomically. There it is.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. That's what I want to study.
Definitely. There's definitely like the political scenes. There's definitely way more opportunities in college. It's a way bigger deal. Lots of cooler stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a survey on my Instagram post or in my Instagram feed. I'm not sure if you remember it, but it was basically asking if you wanted to return back to school, and due to coronavirus, like, would you be willing to? And you voted yes on that survey. And I was just, is Colgate going back to school, or are you guys going online?
So when I get to school on the 23rd, we have to do a 2-week quarantine in our dorm room, and we have like 4 hours of supervised outdoor time.
Wow.
We have online classes. It sounds like prison. We have online classes in like during quarantine, obviously. But after quarantine, I have like two. I only take 4 classes, which is like standard at Colgate, which is so nice because a lot of other places take 5.
Yeah.
But I have 2 classes online. One class which is a hybrid of like online and in person, and one class which is fully in person. So I'm pretty excited for that. But I think we should go back because there have been like clear effects from the spring like semester, like the economic effects of not going back to school, the emotional effects, and I guess just the overall intellect effects of not going back to school is like pretty prevalent. Like students didn't learn as much. Schools suffered, and people and their parents suffered because they would have to be home with their like they were home from the office and so were their kids, and they would have to help their kids with their work, which would take away from their actual work. Um, and it's emotionally like taxing because I mean we're all living it now. Like staying in your house constantly is it's pretty boring, and a lot of kids just don't really want to do anything because they miss their friends and stuff like that. So I just think overall it's like it's better to go back, and kids don't suffer as worse symptoms and like effects short term that we know of than like adults. So the only thing is about going back is that you put like adult lives at risk, but for a better education and a better future, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Uh, I voted yes too, but I also think it might be a little more like a geographic area. I feel like some places, like when there's like maybe like Florida, maybe they should just stay inside. But like, I agree. Like maybe Delaware, our cases are kind of
I agree.
downtrend. Maybe Delaware open up a little bit. Other places that are like smaller. I know Colgate's a pretty small school. There should
Yeah,
be.
well, it's funny you say that because Colgate, the county that it's in, had only 7 coronavirus cases.
Yeah, like
So, the only risk is that you have 2,900 students coming in from around the world. So, as long as it's like we get tested, I just submitted a negative coronavirus test so that I'm allowed onto campus. But we get tested the day we get there, and we get tested 2 weeks after. So then we should be fine. We just have to wear a mask. That's all you got to do. Just wear a mask and wash your hands.
yeah, I would definitely be more careful in like the bigger universities, but especially like the liberal arts ones. I think it's fine. I think
Yeah, I agree.
like at Tower Hill, smaller private schools. I think we should be good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I personally am against going back just because, my grades have been extremely a lot better uh, in the quarantine period.
Various things off camera.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. But I don't know the way Tower Hill's working it. I like Colgate's method of a kind of a hybrid version, as well as the 2 week quarantine period and getting tested before and after. Apparently, from what I've heard, Tower Hill doesn't care if you test positive or not, but we are still going to go back.
Oh,
From what I've heard, I might be wrong at that. Don't quote me, Mrs. Spears, if you're watching this. I don't know. If you want to leave your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, for Tower Hill, I mean, especially for younger kids, it goes both ways because it's tough for parents to like deal with them because they'd have to like get rid of work and stuff. But also, it's like I don't know if younger kids will like stay in line or like actually follow the guidelines. So it's kind of just tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think the younger kids thing's a huge deal because like they just like how do you keep younger kids from just not putting stuff in their mouth? Like,
I know.
you know what I mean? That's gonna be such a big problem. God, holy crap.
What was that, Richard?
Cut that out. Cut that out.
Right.
All right. All right. Sports. Patriots.
Yeah. Moving on to your favorite NFL team, from what I've heard and from what I've seen.
Yep.
The Patriots have completely revamped their lineup. They're now starting Cam Newton as their quarterback. What's your take on that?
I think it's a good look. Cam Newton is, Tom Brady, but more athletic. He can run. He can hit. He's a big guy, and he's fast. So he's accurate. He was the MVP in 2014, I think. So it's a good pickup. Definitely a little bit on the washed-up side, but not as much as Brady for the past 2 years. So I think it's a good look, and he'll teach Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, who's so bad, how to be better. So
what are your season predictions, Harry? Like, how far?
not looking too hot because Patrick Chung dropped out, Donta Hightower dropped out, and all these some of these other big name guys dropped out due to coronavirus concerns. So it's not looking too hot. It's a rebuilding year. That's what I'm going with this year. It's a rebuilding year.
Do you think the Patriots are going to have to revamp their playbook to suit Cam Newton?
Probably. They're going to be – I think it's going to Josh McDaniels is going to be pretty excited that he has a mobile quarterback now. I think they're going to go with the normal Patriots, classic quarterback look, but they're going to incorporate some more, running plays. And Cam's definitely going to run the ball a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're quite a different type of quarterback.
What?
They're quite a different type of quarterback. Yeah. It's probably going to be pretty different, experimental.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised about Brady's move to Tampa?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I did unfollow him on Instagram because I don't want to see him, rubbing it in our face that he's not a Patriot anymore. But good luck to him, I guess. He's been washed up for the past 2 years now. I think he's still been really good, but it's not like the Brady in the 2010s era and the dynasty. He's sort of been slacking a little bit, but he's getting old. And Gronk, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, he hasn't played, but he was in his prime when he retired. So I guess he'll be a little bit rusty, but he's still going to be Brady's go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a graphic on like CBS Sports' Instagram of like how scary the offense was for the Bucks. But the only good players there are like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Honestly,
Tom McCoy's washed up, Brady's washed up, Gronk's been out for a year and could be washed up. So, and the coaching staff sucks for the Buccaneers. I mean, they're not good. But who knows? It'll be interesting to see how far they go.
What do you think about the NFL in general? Because personally, I think it's going to be hilarious because it's basically going to be like a Corona lottery. Like, Corona. Entire team's just out.
Really, why do you think
So
that?
entertaining.
Because like coughing and sweat and everything?
Hmm?
Why do you think it's going to be like Corona everywhere?
Well, I mean, like, I feel like if one player gets it, like, what are the chances that the entire, like, 2 or 3 on the entire team, and then it's just like, what do they do now? They have to replace 5 different players. Like, it's gonna be.
Yeah. The NFL, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. Like the Seahawks cut a rookie just for trying to like.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so ridiculous.
I feel bad for him, bro. Like,
Yeah.
imagine that.
I mean, first of all, you can't be that stupid. But second of all, like he's a rookie. Like relax.
yeah.
Like, imagine you just work your entire life to that point, and then do something that stupid, and then like.
Hit him with a fine. Like that'll work it out.
Just yell at him, and then he'll like get the ball.
Like you don't gotta completely get rid of his job.
You should like.
Not good, but the NFL, it'll be interesting to watch, especially with no fans, because fans play a big part.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I don't know yet. Are they doing a bubble or some sorts? Because
I think teams are doing their own bubble.
Mhm.
Like they said, like the Seahawks bubble.
Yeah.
As well. So I think they're hinting at like, oh, it's my alarm. It's my alarm to get on this podcast. What's it called? I think teams are just doing their own little bubble.
Yeah, I mean the NBA seems to be doing really well with the bubble.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I like it. The intensity is very high in the bubble.
Well, they're adding now family members.
Yeah, they are.
Like I saw a thing which is like no like Instagram influencers allowed or something. I found that.
Well, that's because they all like circle through the same influencers. Like Kendall Jenner is probably gonna make it 4 different.
Why are you there? You're not a family member. Like,
I know.
leave, get out.
But yeah, hopefully no one brings in Corona. But the NBA has done a great job.
Yeah.
Great basketball too.
I don't really get it. Like the players are in like some kind of Zen mode right now. They're just like
weird.
Honestly.
They're more fired up than usual.
Yeah.
So on the topic of basketball, you're a Sixers fan.
Yeah.
We have made the playoffs as a 6th seed going against the 3 seed Celtics. What do you think, Harry? You think we have a good chance, or?
Sixers and 6. That's me.
Because the Sixers lost Ben Simmons, which is a pretty integral part of their offense, but they have enough great players on the bench, like Matisse Thybulle and Furkan. So they're pretty good as of right now. Shake Milton's heating up, which is good to see, and he's coming in clutch sometimes. So I think if they work together, they have a good chance. I haven't really been watching the Celtics, but the Celtics are always pretty good, and they're the 3 seed, and they jumped up. They went 3-1 to jump up to the number 3 spot, I think, in the power rankings. So I think they're going to be.
They always have a good coaching staff.
They do, yeah.
Brad Stevens, gotta give it to him.
Yep, he is good.
He's a serious part of the team, I swear.
Right. So I think it'll be pretty interesting to see. It'll be a pretty even matchup. I don't think the rankings or the seeding is accurate. I think it's going to be good basketball around.
Yeah, I agree. It's just who's going to stop Jason Tatum, but on the flip side, who's going to stop Embiid? You never know.
Yeah. We stole Horford from them.
Yeah, I think one of the questions you sent me was Horford and Simmons. I think they can coexist. They can both shoot. One can be shooting while the other one's down below getting the board and putting it back. So it's a pretty deadly combo, I guess. It's better than Simmons and Embiid because you put point guard Simmons who can't shoot down low, and then Embiid's got to be down low to get the rebound. Or Embiid can shoot, but he's not a high percentage shot maker. So I think Horford and Embiid is a better duo than Simmons and Embiid.
I
So
agree with that completely. I agree with that completely. I don't know. I feel like Simmons and Embiid, they don't like mesh as well as they probably could. Like it's weird. Like
they're both pretty arrogant, I
they
feel
should
like.
play so much
Yeah.
better, but they just don't.
Right.
We actually play a lot better with only Embiid on the court. It's like plus 12.
It just doesn't make any sense either. One's a point guard and one's a big center. Like why can't they coexist? Just
I know.
cannot wrap my brain around that. But
Yeah.
It's pretty much the shooting, honestly. Ben could like start shooting. It's all we need.
Exactly. It's a shooter's game now. It's much different than it used to be. So
at least we got like Josh Richardson and Tobias Harris for that relatively.
as long as you have good defense, good coaching, Brett Brown's not doing so hot. I mean, team's doing well, but Brett Brown needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so much star talent, but it's just not fitting together.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. We should pick up who just got fired.
Alvin Gentry?
That Pelicans guy.
Yeah, Alvin Gentry.
Pelicans guy. I liked him. I don't know why they fired him, but
Jim Boylan got fired from the Bulls. That's pretty big news for all Bulls fans who are watching.
pick up everybody. Pick up everybody. We can have alternates.
The Bulls weren't very good this year.
Oh no.
I like Zach LaVine though. He's one of my favorite players. He's so good.
I'd love to have Zach LaVine on the Sixers.
It's so fun to watch.
Him and Embiid would be great.
Honestly, if we could get Buddy
It'd
healed,
be Lob City.
I thought of this the other day. If we could get Buddy healed, like we could win a championship. I think.
I think he needs
shooter. I mean, like, bro, he's just like a better JD Redick though. We didn't really do anything with when we had him.
Yeah.
I mean, we were one game away from Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals if you think about it like that.
Wait, but we also had
Winning.
buckets that year though.
That's true.
Yeah, if you guys kept on to if we held on to him and then got one more like star player,
Mhm.
would have been set.
Honestly, keep Jimmy Butler, get rid of Simmons, and then I feel I swear we could have won with that lineup.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tobias Harris just because we paid him a max contract. I don't think he's a max player at all.
I don't think he is either.
He's not proven to be a max player. Like everybody in the NBA wants a max contract these days, and like even if you're just a borderline like pretty solid player, you don't deserve a max contract.
Give him credit. He can somehow still average like 20 points with like so many like good players on the team. So I feel like if he was his own star player on a team, I feel like he could like reach that level. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But the problem is that he's not. So like we shouldn't be like overpaying for like those type of people.
I agree.
But like that's the same thing as like the Jimmy Butler treatment. Like he came to the Sixers and then he like I don't know, all his stats went down. Like would you argue the same thing?
Well, Jimmy's a closer. Tobias isn't a closer. Jimmy's a closer. Jimmy's
That's fact.
like a dog. Tobias is just like a third option.
Yep.
That's true.
And Jimmy's proven too. Tobias is like, I don't know, in my eyes.
I agree with Archit 100%.
All right, Harry. Tell us about your bees, Harry.
My bees are doing great. We just got a ton of honey.
That's kind of a cool hobby. Like tell the world, tell us.
Let's see. It's a lot of fun. We have 5 hives. Earlier this summer, in about like early June, we caught a swarm of bees, a wild swarm. Technically, they're all wild, but like we put a box in our tree and we sprayed some special spray in there. And it took about like a few days, but we caught a wild swarm, which is pretty good, and they're pretty feisty. But yeah, they're producing a lot of honey. We got a ton of honey a few weeks ago. About I don't know how many jars, but I want to say it's about like 150 pounds. And we'll get that again in September, which will be about like actually I don't know how many jars in the hundreds of jars. So we still have jars from 2018 of honey. So.
Good thing honey doesn't expire.
Yeah,
or it's really slow, just forever.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Have you ever gotten a bin or any funny stories with your
Yeah, Actually, so Town Square, Delaware. I don't know if you guys know who they are. It's like
I
like
think I've heard of it.
yeah, it's like Delaware Online, but not
Yeah.
like more. It's not more like a corporation. I guess they just got bought by someone else, but it's more like people who feed into it and contribute to articles. But they were doing an article on local beekeepers. So the Boydens were in it because Blaine Boyden's dad is a beekeeper, and a few other people around the area were in it, and so were we.
Hey,
And as they were doing some pictures of like me holding the bees, I
It's
gave
like,
my proper gloves, like the actual gloves that like the bees can't really sting into, to the photographer, and I got like
oh,
gardening gloves where only like my palms and my fingers were like covered, but not the backside. So I got some, and this was last year when we had this one ridiculously feisty hive, and I got stung like 3 times on both my hands. Um, and then and I had the smoker in my hand too, so I started like smoking myself, and I like ran away because I got stung like 4 times.
damn.
if that happened to me, I'm done. Like no,
And then
no more.
it's
Like,
so bad. And then I ran away. My dad got stung too at the same time
Wow.
because I ran away with the smoker. It was it was a shit show, but
at that point, just like throw the entire hive away.
I know.
Like just like get one of those pet bees. You know what they do on you freeze
Yeah,
them and then tie them up to a string and then
yeah,
like put the fire around
I know.
and
But
mess with them.
they were our biggest producer of honey. They produced a lot.
That's cool. Are you guys like? Is it just like you guys gonna sell honey or anything, or just a con?
No, we don't really sell
Like,
it. We give it away. I mean, we have a website. I'll send you the link to put in the bio if you guys want to apply.
Hey, yeah,
hey,
check it out. Download.
we'll have it. We'll put it in the description for everyone.
Yeah, it's beehaven.farm. We have our own lip balm that we make from the beeswax that we also sell in different flavors. My favorite flavor is Fruit Loops because we bought the actual Fruit Loop extract that Kellogg's uses.
Wow.
But we don't sell that one. That's just for fun. But we sell our honey. We don't really sell it very often. We usually give it out as gifts because we have so much of it that it's more of a hobby than like a business. But
I can imagine.
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like time is running out. If you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the video. Turn that notification bell on.
Absolutely.
And if you guys want to be on the podcast, follow at WestFT Sports TV on Instagram or email us and just like DM us on Instagram. We are public, so you can DM us, but we would appreciate
We also just hit 400 followers, so we're on that.
Really?
On
Yes,
that
sir.
course.
We're on the come up, guys. You want to be part of it. The Before 500 Club.
Definitely. All right, Harry. Any last words before we go?
Just have a good time in quarantine. Do what you can and wear a mask.
Yes, sir.
Creed.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
See you guys.